Hey guys, this is Matt from Slaves. I'm here hanging out with Rob from Front Row Live.
Matt, what's up, man? Congratulations. New album is literally around the corner. Talk to me about this new album for Slaves to Better Days, and you know what this experience has been like for you in the production and creative side.
Yeah, so obviously the bulk of my music career has been as a solo artist, so it's been a great refresher in the fact that you know, it's really cool to work with people, basically. It's really cool to not just have it be what I would come up with, but to have these other four people that are really experts in what they do bring their talent to the equation. So it's not just me with an acoustic guitar and kind of going through the same old motions, kind of. So yeah, it was a really exciting process for me, and then also just I've never done music that's this heavy before. I mean, I guess it's funny to say for maybe some people, just because Slaves is obviously not like a super heavy rock band in the scene, but for me, coming from like a pop world, it's heavier than anything I've ever done. So it allowed me to pull from different influences that I have and write vocals that I wouldn't have been able to do on a normal record, which is great.
Coming from that solo side of things, and then jumping into this, you know, working with a team, how does that kind of expand your horizon when it comes to writing? Do you feel like you're gravitating from, you know, pop stuff from before and then new stuff from the guys in Slaves? You know, how is that process like for you, and what have you learned from it?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been influenced by just being a touring member of the band officially before doing the record. So in terms of, I mean, I had never heard of the only band I'd heard of before this process was Escape to Fate, and that's only because I'm friends with Thrasher, and that's how I got hooked up with him. But never heard of Slaves, I never heard of Blessed to Fall, I never heard, you know what I mean? So it was all new, and so that's cool. But I think in terms of my contribution, it's any influences, things that I knew about, like a Bring Me the Horizon or something like that. But honestly, like, again, the band has a precedent for like this more pop leaning sound anyway, so it wasn't too tough to kind of just do what I would do. I would say from the writing perspective, again, it's usually I start with an idea in my head and then I pick up an acoustic guitar or something and work with that. But this was the band writing these instrumentals for me to go away and track, like try to write lyrics to during the day while they're in the studio. So that was sort of what the process looked like, which is great because it's totally different, and it's like, no, it's this many bars and it's this sound and it's this. So it was fun doing it like that for me.
For this record, Eric Ron is not the producer. You guys worked with someone else. Who was producing this album?
It's a good friend of ours named Jimmy Alexander. He's a Australian guy. He's the front man of Awaken I Am. So that's I guess that's how the band knows him. And prior to this, they were all friends with Jimmy, but they didn't even know that he was really producing or writing. And so he sent us a demo for Heavier, which was our first single. I think this was right before the Australian tour, and then we finished it with him at the end of that tour in Australia. And just based off that one song, we were like, dude, we want you to do the whole record with us, because he's great. And what I really enjoy is that he's a great vocalist himself. So he was really good at vocal producing me in terms of, you know, having feedback or, oh, maybe do this a little breathier or whatever, you know. That's nice to have as a singer. So yeah, Jimmy's super talented. I think everybody wants to do the next record with him, and he's super cool.
Now, were you guys able to finish the record before the whole quarantine began, or did you guys still have to kind of finalize certain tracks or record certain tracks while quarantine was going on?
Yeah, we finished the record a year ago.
Oh, man, nice.
Yeah, so it was the whole thing was written and recorded in 6 weeks. We had 40 days, very biblical, and that was last July, August. So, yeah, I know things take a while to roll out, and with quarantine and with everything that's been going on, we decided to push it back a little further than I guess maybe we would have. But I really wanted it to come out fast because I wanted credit for how quickly. I wanted everybody to know, like, we didn't drop the ball. So I think people are still like, well, it's a great record. You can look at how much you've done. I'm like, no, it's been done for a year, anyways, I'm just excited to have it come out, and you know how it is. You sit with something for a while, and it's still exciting to listen to it in a lower quality on the streaming service of your choice, just to feel like it's like, oh, cool, it's like real now, So yeah.
I feel like 2019 was just such a run and gun type of year for you. That's when you kind of joined the guys, but it was like, you guys met right at the live show, and then now you're jumping into an album. What was that experience like for you? Did you feel like any of it was rushed, or did you feel like it was just everything was just kind of happening naturally, as far as like your interaction with the band in the first place?
Well, I would say none of the record felt rushed. I mean, we were definitely on a time crunch, and we had to be something that I was very aware of through the whole process, because they would go in and bang out maybe like 3 instrumentals in a day, and then I'm like, wait, how many do we have now? And I'm trying to play catch up and write vocals. So that was interesting. They were like, they'd be coming home having these ice cream parties, watching Nicolas Cage movies, and I watch a little bit and be like, shit, I gotta go write these lyrics. So, that's how that goes. I wish I can come up with melodies about as fast, but unfortunately the lyrics for me sometimes take a little bit, and I'm kind of a stickler about them. So, but yeah, I mean, in terms of meeting the guys and developing that bond and doing the touring, was that rushed? Absolutely. But it was just that's just what it was. It was just kind of comical, you know what I mean? It was weird for me, obviously, and it was weird for them. But it didn't feel weird. We like clicked so fast, and it's just the whole thing felt very like serendipitous and kind of meant to be. So it's props to them for making me feel super welcome, and I think they were just relieved that I was able to kind of do what needed to be done, and I get, they found out I'm not like a psychopath or something, you know what I mean? So, good.
Especially overseas.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just, I'd asked my buddy Thrasher, that's how I even got linked up with them, because he was on that tour, and I was like, so what are the guys like? And he's like, oh, dude, they're just like sweethearts. They're super nice, and that's like my MO too. Just want everybody to just be chill. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't understand how there's so many questionable characters in the music industry when so many people want to be involved. It's like there are so many people that are like not that great at what they do and crappy people. It's like, how did you make it? Like, I've been trying to make it my whole life. Like, can we weed those people out? Like, let's just have the best, nicest people. But it doesn't always, like with in any field, it doesn't always work out like that. You could be the CEO and you're like, this guy doesn't know anything. So who knows, man? That's life, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I missed you by a season. I've been hosting interviews backstage on The Voice for the last 10 seasons.
All right.
And I feel like the situation that you guys have within each show, where you have X amount of hours or X amount of days to learn a new song to perform live to an audience, I feel like that's kind of similar to what you're experiencing, what you experienced with the guys when you first joined the band and then when you first jumped into the record. How do you feel The Voice kind of prepped you for this situation? Yeah,
I mean, so the Voice, at least my season, we were doing a lot of commercial partnerships, and we're just very busy. We had a good season that everybody liked, so they were having us do a lot of stuff. So, longest day I had on the show was a 20-hour day, but like regularly 16-hour days, and so that really got me conditioned for things like touring right after the show and just anything that was kind of a grueling schedule. And I was sort of just used to that, and developed good habits like doing all my vocal warm-ups and vocal rests and all that stuff that has sustained me still to this point. So yeah, I would definitely say that that's hugely beneficial, and also just like how scary and daunting that whole journey was. Although the only thing that was different about this was again the difference between being like a part of a team versus being a solo artist. It's just like it's so hard thinking that you're like letting the team down. That's like that. I think that's the disappointing part. And even I grew up mostly do like skateboarding and things like that. So it's like it didn't really matter. But it's just that I did volleyball, and I remember just like you mess up, and everybody's just like, oh, and I'm just like, I don't need this. You know what I mean? So so that was what I was worried about. Again, it's like I'm like I didn't have time to memorize all the songs, of course, and I just thought that they were gonna be like, dude, you don't know any of this stuff, because I never met him, and that was my main fear, and it was very scary. It was like scarier than anything I'd done on The Voice. But I met them, and they were just happy that I was there, because you know what I mean. And I was just like, okay, cool, I can work with this, and it took me probably about I don't know, maybe four days of doing the shows, and until I was like had everything memorized, and then I was able to kind of like relax. That's why I'm actually really looking forward to at some point hopefully going overseas again and doing it obviously with songs that I was a writer on. Would be great to hear people actually like be engaged in that, and people be expecting me, be nice. So like, who knows this? But yeah, I also just actually being able to rehearse before and having everything memorized, because I'd never been to the UK or I've been to Germany before, but those first UK shows I was just like very I couldn't sightsee or anything. I felt like, because I was just listening to the songs on loop. So yeah,
that's challenging, man.
All good.
So you guys have been teasing a new single for this Friday, Like I Do. And with the video that you guys kind of teased with it seems like it kickstarts with an acoustic guitar. So I guess it's a little of you as a solo artist in a sense. But what can you tell me about Like I Do, and what can fans expect with this track?
Yeah, I mean, just to shout out the acoustic thing. That's just I guess for whatever reason I was just like, oh cool, maybe I can play on this one. So that's the only song that I played on for the record, and yeah, it's fun. And maybe we can do more of that in the future in terms of if it was like a 3-part thing, that might be kind of fun. Just a different side. I mean, that being said, it's really cool to run around stage and not have to worry about a guitar at this point. But the song, what can we expect? It's a pretty like emotional song for me. It's a bit more, feels a bit slower, and I don't know if the good people at Octane will pick it up and spin it a lot, but they've surprised me in the past, so I'm not sure. I think it'll be a fan favorite, I hope. Although again, I get surprised all the time. I didn't think anybody was gonna like Talk to a Friend that much, and that's like my favorite. But you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. So who knows, man? At this point, I don't know. I hope people like it. I think that one in particular, I really tried to like pour my heart out into. So hopefully people. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I hope people relate to this song, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't say that. Like, this is kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? So, but I guess I do. I don't know. I hope that they relate to it, if they're going to relate to it anyways, and it makes them feel good.
The album To Better Days drops August 7th. What has been your biggest challenge with this album?
Biggest challenge with the album? I would say just trying to figure out when to release it. Like I said, it's been done for a minute, and at first we were trying to make sure we had the right tour to release it with and keep the hype going and everything, and then the COVID hit, and so everything's been closed down, and it's just sort of been it's been a battle of that, I guess. That was what I would say has been the biggest challenge. Is just, but luckily we have all these singles, we have all these videos filmed, and it's so funny for me to see the comments of people being like, you can't just release the whole album song by song, and I'm just like, watch that, it's going well, like. So yeah, I guess that's it. I hope next time we can, like I said, even just from a place of ego, that we could finish an album and put it out really soon, just to be like, look how fast we did that. But things are better off rolled out in good time. So yeah.